Cervical cancer is a malignant tumor that begins in the cervix. This cancer usually develops when healthy cells in the cervix begin to grow abnormally and form precancerous lesions. The leading cause of cervical cancer is a persistent infection with high strains of the human papillomavirus or HPV. Once cancer is confirmed, imaging tells us like MRI, PET CT help us understand how far it has spread. Earlier the stage at diagnosis, better are the chances of effective treatment and recovery. Cervical cancer is one of the most preventable cancers, and yet in India, it continues to take the lives of thousands of women each year. I am Dr. Jayanti Tumsi, Senior Breast Cancer Specialist at Therapy Healthcare. Today, I want to help you understand what cervical cancer is and how it develops and why early detection truly saves lives. So let's begin with the basics. What is cervical cancer? Cervical cancer is a malignant tumor that begins in the cervix, which is the lower part of the uterus that connects to the vagina. This cancer usually develops when healthy cells in the cervix begin to grow abnormally and form precancerous lesions. These changes can take years, which is why routine screening can help catch them early before they turn into cancer. Let's talk about the causes and risk factors. The leading cause of cervical cancer is a persistent infection with high strains of the human papillomavirus or HPV. Types 16 and 18 are the most common culprits. HPV is very common. In most cases, the body clears it naturally, but sometimes it lingers and over time can trigger abnormal changes in the cervix. Certain risk factors make it harder for the body to fight HPV, and these include early age of sexual activity, multiple sexual partners, smoking, long-term use of oral contraceptives, a weakened immune system such as in people with HIV. Now let's talk about the different types of cervical cancer. Cervical cancer is classified based on the type of cell where it starts. Now, first of all, squamous cell carcinoma. This is the most common type. It arises from the squamous cells lining the outer part of the cervix. Now, around 70 to 80% of cases fall into this category. Another type or the second type is called as adenocarcinoma. This begins in the glandular cells of the endocervical canal. It's less common and sometimes harder to detect on routine pap smears. The third type is called as a combination of these two, that is adenosquamous carcinoma, a rare type with features of both. These tend to be more aggressive and require a tailored treatment plan. Let's look at how cervical cancer is diagnosed. Screening is the first step and it saves lives. We begin with the pap smear, which can detect abnormal or precancerous changes in the cervical cells. Alongside that, we may do an HPV DNA test to check for the presence of high-risk HPV strains, even before any visible cell changes appear. If abnormalities are found, we proceed to a colposcopy, which is a magnified visual inspection of the cervix, and if needed, a biopsy is taken for confirmation. Once cancer is confirmed, imaging tells us like MRI, PET CT help us understand how far it has spread. This helps us accurately stage the disease. Now, let's go over the stages of cervical cancer. Staging tells us how far the cancer has spread or has progressed and helps us guide our treatment plan. Stage D0, also called as carcinoma in situ, means the cancer cells are limited to the surface layer of the cervix. At this stage, it is often fully curable with minor surgical procedure. Stage 1 means the cancer is still confined within the cervix itself. In stage 2, the cancer has spread beyond the cervix but hasn't yet reached the pelvic wall. In stage 3, that indicates that the disease has extended to the pelvic wall or the lower part of the vagina. And finally, stage 4 is when the cancer has spread to distant organs such as bladder, rectum, lungs, or liver. The earlier the stage at diagnosis, better are the chances of effective treatment and recovery. Now let's talk about the treatment options for treating cervical cancer. Now, treatment for cervical cancer depends on several factors, including the stage of the disease, the type of the cancer, and involvement of lymph nodes, and whether fertility needs to be preserved in the younger women. In early stage cervical cancer, surgery is often the first line of treatment, and that is most definitive. Now, this may involve procedures such as conization, a simple or radical hysterectomy, and removal of nearby lymph nodes. Those are the pelvic lymph nodes. Now, for more locally advanced diseases, radiation therapy plays a central role. We often combine it with chemotherapy in a treatment approach called as concurrent chemoradiation, which improves the outcomes by enhancing the effectiveness of both the therapies to treat cervical cancer. Now, in selected cases of advanced or recurrent cervical cancer, immunotherapy is now emerging as a promising option, particularly with checkpoint inhibitors like pembrolizumab, which help the immune system recognize and attack the cancer cells. And these are all newer and very effective drugs. All treatment plans and therapy are decided through a multidisciplinary team involving oncologists, surgeons, radiation experts, and supportive care to ensure every aspect of your health which is considered. Now, the final message that I would like to give to all our listeners and all our audience is that cervical cancer is serious but also highly preventable and treatable when caught early. At Therapy Healthcare, we believe in empowering women through awareness, evidence-based treatment, and personalized care. If you or someone you know has questions about HPV, cervical screening, or treatment options, reach out to us. We are here to help you. Thank you.